And again, welcome to another tropical update from Cayman Hurricane Center. And folks, well, quite a bit has taken place since our last update. And first and foremost, I do want to apologize here. We had worked up an update yesterday, mid to late morning. I had to redo it again because, of course, 94L ramped up quite significantly. Um, Gone from, again, a weak invest to a tropical storm and then right straight through to a hurricane when the hurricane hunters went in and found it as a full-fledged hurricane. And then, of course, you know, something did have to get in the way of that, and couldn't get it out. So do apologize for that, there, folks. But here we go with the update for this morning period. So here we go. Here's the large image here, and we could see that our Invest Area 94 again quickly came through, became Tropical Storm Oscar, and then when Hurricane Hunters went in, they found it as a full-fledged 80-mile-per-hour hurricane, again knocking on the doorstep of the British Overseas Territories of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Moved through as about an 85 or so mile per hour hurricane, now moving through the southeastern Bahamas as this thing is now made landfall on the Great Inagua Island. It is expected to continue to move southwest and towards Cuba. We'll go into the details here of that here in just a moment. And of course, our much larger system, as we could see here, Nadine, made landfall there in Belize, just near Belize City, and continuing to move west now, starting to move west-southwest, expected to dissipate over the higher terrain of Central America. But again, the rainfall threat still very much an issue there. So we're going to be watching that as we go. So just quickly running through the details that we got for Hurricane Oscar here, folks. Again, there you go, satellite imagery of Oscar. And again, can't really see too well on the satellite imagery here. It's still nighttime footage at this point in time. Sunrise not yet, but the eye of the hurricane could be seen crossing over the Great Inagua Island, somewhere within this vicinity now. Again, after passing through the Turks and Caicos and then starting to make its dive southwest, or just south of due west. But the short-term motion is south of due west, is west-southwest. The more long-term motion is south of due west. So short-term motion west-southwest. Long-term motion is to the west or south of due west. But either way, a west-southwestward motion is expected, and it is expected that our hurricane will be making its approach to Cuba. So again, just running through the numbers here, 21.1 north, 73.1 west, about 5 miles east of Great Inagua Island, about 150 miles northeast of Guantanamo Bay. Again, winds are at 80 miles per hour. Movement is to the west or south of due west at 12 miles per hour. The pressure 988 millibars. So again, we want to note that the tropical storm warnings and so on that were issued for the Turks and Caicos Islands, southern Bahamas, those tropical storm warnings were upgraded to hurricane warnings. And we do have a lot of hurricane warnings. Just pop that up here. So we can see that we had all the hurricane warnings up running for Turks and Caicos and Bahamas, and we do see that the tropical storm warning were upgraded to hurricane warnings for Cuba. Now, as of this update, now that the system is passing the Turks and Caicos and over the Great Anagras Islands, the Turks and Caicos government has downgraded the hurricane warning to tropical storm warning. Again, that remains in effect. However, just running through the details of these warnings here, hurricane warning, southeast Bahamas and the Cuban provinces of Holguin, Guantanamo, and Punta Masi. Hurricane watch for the Cuban province of Las Tunas. Tropical storm warning, again, Turks and Caicos, south coast of Cuban province Guantanamo, and the north coast of Cuba, their province of Las Tunas. A tropical storm watch there also for Camagüey, Cuba. Again, folks, so we are expecting the continued motion towards the west-southwest and an eventual landfall towards Cuba. Now, again, the forecast is quite complex here. We are seeing, again, a bit of a shift southwards in the forecast. But again, the guidance are still very much in a bit of a spread here. We are expecting that the system will continue on a path towards the west-southwest, and eventually it will curve up like so. The question is how strong the system will be, and how the interaction with Cuba will be will help to determine where this system goes. So some of the forecast guidance have shifted to where the system ends up crossing Cuba, passing in between Jamaica, Cuba, and Cayman Islands and Cuba before turning in. And there are some of the forecast guidance that sort of slow it down as it moves over Cuba, and then obviously coming out. But of course, with that land interaction and that slower movement over Cuba, that'll be a weaker system as more land interaction. So this is something we're going to have to watch here, not just for, of course, the areas under the watches and warnings, but for possible secondary impacts. We're looking at parts of Haiti there, parts of Jamaica. We'll be needing to look for that, depending on how far south and west this thing gets. As it fully crosses over Cuba into the vicinity, we're going to have to watch for the Cayman Islands as well. But either way, we're going to be keeping a close eye on all of this here as we go forwards. Now, again, in terms of the impacts, just quickly running through things here, of course, we are expecting that hurricane conditions would be expected in the area of Cuba this afternoon, this evening. Conditions easing up for the Turks and Caicos and southeast Bahamas there as we go. We, of course, expect the tropical storm conditions to occur earlier, obviously. Rainfall, we're looking at 5 to 10 inches with locally higher amounts of 15 across eastern Cuba, southeastern Bahamas, 2 to 4 inches, and around 6 max there for southeastern Bahamas. We are also looking at potential 1 to 2 inches there for portions of Haiti. We could see 1 to 2 inches for portions of Jamaica as well. Again, depending on how the track goes, we may even see a couple of inches, an inch or so, potentially impacting parts of the Cayman Islands. But we'll be keeping an eye on that as we go. Of course, storm surge, we're looking at, again, 2 to 4 feet above normal tide levels, 1 to 3 feet there for parts of Cuba in areas of onshore wind. Again, that is the update here on Oscar. We'll be back with another quick update, just quickly rounding off Nadine.